Welcome back. We're going to be working under the hood today, but before we get started, let me give you a quick introduction and then we'll do a quick tour of what we're going to be working on. Oldsmobiles of this era had the golden rocket, probably some terminology from the space race, some remnant from that. But this is the 350 cubic inch motor. There was also a 455 cubic inch motor option, but yeah, this is just the 350 that we bored out 30,000s when we rebuilt it all those years ago. The motor is strong, so we're not going to really do any motor work. The only thing we're going to change motor wise, we're going to replace the intake and swap it out with an aluminum Offenhauser 360 dual plane intake. So that's the only swap plan we're going to do with that. Like I said, it's the golden rocket, and you can see that in some areas it fared better than others. So we're going to see what we need to do about making the engine look nice. You know, I want the balance between performance and looks. So we're going to try and strike that balance. So down here we have a 1406, I just looked, a 1406 Edelbrock carburetor, 4-barrel. Originally this car was 2-barrel, but then we swapped it over to 4-barrel with a 4-barrel intake. Like I said, we're going to swap out this intake for a Offenhauser one, and then we're going to rebuild this carburetor. I got a rebuild kit, so we're going to clean the jets and the gaskets, replace the gaskets, retime the, everything, the floats. That is going to be, it's kind of tedious. It's not very difficult, it's just tedious. But we're going to do that, and hopefully that'll make the car run a little bit better. I think obviously it's going to make the car run better, but it's just another task that we have to do. Back here, you can't see it. This is where the distributor is in the Oldsmobile. I know some cars are up front, it's really convenient, but the Oldsmobile, it's in the back. So what we're going to do with the distributor is, it's still using the original points system. What we're going to do is swap out the points with an electronic ignition. So another thing that should just make the car be able to run and perform and start a little bit more reliably. So between the distributor and the carburetor being rebuilt, I think that's going to help with reliability and performance a little bit. And over on this side, we have air conditioning. This car, surprisingly enough, originally came with air conditioning, and I'm taking it out. It doesn't work. It's 50 years old. Unfortunately, the chemicals, Freon or whatever it is all leaked out. It's not something I think I need. It's just kind of a cruiser. So I think the engine bay will just look nicer without this messiness in the engine bay. So what I'm going to do is take it out, put it in a box, put it away, probably never touch it again. Someday if I want to, I can put a new system on there. So we're going to start with the AC, and then we'll just work our way in here. So let's get wrenching. This thing weighs so much. All right, well, as you can see, we've been making quite a bit of progress. I got most of the wires for the AC stripped back and tucked over here. I'm going to deal with that a little bit later, but it just makes sense to kind of move on, and we'll just circle back to the wires. So we disconnected everything for the carburetor and popped the carburetor up, and yeah, it looks pretty messy down here, but we're going to take care of that. It's going to look really nice once we swap out for the new Offenhauser one. But steady progress. As you can see, I've been using some tape and labeling. I haven't worked with this car in 20 years, so I don't remember anything or where anything goes, so trying to avoid some future trouble of not remembering where things go when it's time to put this back together. But I think next we need to take off the alternator so that we can get so we can continue working on ripping out the intake. And we also need to drain the antifreeze before we do that. So antifreeze, alternator, a couple more of these fiddly bits, but yeah, we're making a lot of good progress. Get up over there. Woo! Oh, look at the engine. Now, I don't think I got this big piece, but I know I got these rubber ones, and I think I just got the like right here, not the whole tray. Alright, so this point of the project, you ask yourself, what have I done? Because my car is now in a million pieces, wires everywhere, crap on the floor, but trust the process, okay? So let's take a look at the old intake. It's actually fine, it's just dirty and there's nothing wrong with it. We could polish this thing up and slap it back in. The only difference is it weighs so much. It has to weigh 50 pounds. Cast iron, it's so heavy. So let's take a look at our new one, because we're going to swap it out with a, I already said, because we're going to swap it out with the Offenhauser. And here's our new one. So alternatively, one hand, I can pick it up and there's the side-by-side difference, night and day. So this is aluminum. I cleaned it up and I painted it with like an aluminum color to kind of protect it and just keep the color. But as you can see, it's dual plane versus the 4-barrel, and it's a little bit higher than here. This is flat. We had a spacer on it, but maybe this is all in one. I'm not worried, but maybe a little bit worried how close the air filter is going to be on the hood, but I don't think it'll be a problem. So we can get this thing ready to put it back in. This cost me $0 because I got it as a gift a couple years ago and we're finally putting it in, so that's not going to take out of the budget, but I did spend about, I don't know, 10 bucks on the paint. Before we put on our fancy intake, we need to replace the gaskets. So you can see this gasket style is different than the one that I took out, so I'm going to try it. I don't know why there's two different ones, but we're going to give it a go. And I have this goop gasket sealer that I need to put out in the back and the front along with these two rubber pieces. Let's do that, and then we can put the new intake on there. Nice, looks good. Let me show you what we're going to do with the valve covers. This is aluminum Mickey Thompson valve covers, and they're going to replace these old dirty ones. It's hard to see, nothing really wrong with them, but I really just like the look of these finned valve covers. So I already put the passenger side on so we can take a look at that. Here's the after. So you can see the Mickey Thompson looks, I think it pops really nicely. I did paint the bolts gold to pay homage to the Golden Rocket, since little by little we're losing gold. But I think it looks great, especially with the couple different colors now. We have silver, gold, black. Yeah, it looks really sharp. So we're gonna put the other side on, and then we can just keep buttoning this thing up. Right, man, that's looking good. I painted the brake booster. I also put the new, I replaced the points with electric ignition, and there's an air gap, so you had to put it on and off, test the gap. But yeah, the engine's really coming together. We're actually gonna have to stop for today because I'm missing this gasket. That should arrive tomorrow or the next day. Another interesting thing about the Offenhauser is there's not as many vacuum ports as the Oldsmobile one, so we're gonna have to figure something out. Maybe we'll just tee into the carburetor, but we'll see. But I am very pleased with how this is looking so far. I just think it looks sharp. Good news, we're back at it, so we can keep going on the car. I'm gonna put a little bit of gasket sealer around this water neck. Okay, our new gasket can go right on top. And then before we put our shiny neck on, I am going to pop a new thermostat in there. Make sure you put it the right way. Actually, I'm gonna take this off. There it goes. That's the order you want to do it. All right, well, it wasn't that smooth, but you get the idea. All right, now that we have the water neck and the gasket on, let's put on this as well. That's good. While we're at it, new fuel filter. I'll take this old one off. Okay, excellent. All right, we'll let that drip out. One step closer. We also need to top up the radiator. So we'll see how much this takes. All right, now I think we're at a stopping point. Fluids, new oil, antifreeze in the car, and everything we've seen we've done today. It is buttoned up pretty good. I think now's the time that we end it for today's episode, so that we can work on the carburetor next. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and see you in the next one.